Roch, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the broader discussion about family businesses. Families, or many families, come up with really great ideas, get really great businesses going. But from your point of view, the long-term viability of the business being run by the founding family, what's your view?
Well, first of all, Hennessy belongs to LVMH, which is the largest luxury group in the world.
When did that happen?
And the merger actually happened, it was two times. First of all, in '71, when the Hennessy family and the Moet family from the Champagne region merged to create an entity called Roch Hennessy. And that was later merged again with Louis Vuitton, which is the very famous brand for fashion and bags, and created the super giant that is today LVMH, and the leader in the market that is a public traded company in France and the largest group of luxury. But just to go back to your point, the family has always played a very important role in the company. Of course, it's this family vision that helped develop the brand and carry this legacy all the way until now. So family is still playing an important role. Yes.
For sure. And I mean, we had results out of Louis Vuitton this week, really strong numbers, suggesting that the luxury goods market is in a pretty good space right now. On the ground, what are you seeing?
Yes, definitely. We've seen we had a bit of a downturn with China's anti-corruption rules in 2013, 2014. We see now that the growth is back in China. Very promising numbers. In 2016 it was stable. 2017 a big increase, and 2018 is really seen as very promising for the future, and started very well. And I'm looking after the Chinese market. I'm the business development manager for China, so I accompany the market and everything that's happening there, and it's quite interesting. So carried by Asia and carried also by the US, and Africa also has a role to play in it.
For sure. I mean, so are you scared by all these headlines of a potential trade war with China and the US, and what does it mean for Hennessy?
It's true that instability is never good news for us, and especially when it hits trading laws, and sanctions, and that's never good news. But we see that we really helped by the European Union, and by the way, France is protecting the interest of its company. And we had recently the President Macron go to China and establish very strong trade relationship and very I would say like a peaceful communication with the Chinese government. So we don't see our companies and our luxury company being affected by this kind of a trade trivia that's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, if the Chinese are anything like Africans, I mean, for us when times are tough, we drink more. But nonetheless, so talking about Africa, so Hennessy enters Africa in the early 1990s. The market has changed quite a lot since then. So I'd like to understand, how are you doing on the continent?
Well, it's great because Africa for us, as you said, it was introduced a bit later. We were first of all present in Europe, in Russia, of course, France being close to Russia, in the UK, the US forever. Household was the country, like our first shipment dates back to the 18th century. In Asia, 19th century. First introduction of Hennessy in China was 1859. And in Africa later in the 20th century. So we see that Africa is really the last frontier for our brand, but at the same time we see that the African consumer, with the amount of education, with the open-mindedness to our international brand, and the understanding of an international brand, want to appropriate themselves cognac, and we see like huge influence with the hip-hop culture in the US.
Talking about
locally. Resounding in Africa today, and we see that it's a market. For example, South Africa is the second largest VS, very special market for us, which is a quality that we have after the US. So very big potential. In Africa we see three main markets: Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria, and that's where we're going on tour right now to celebrate the 200th anniversary of VSOP, which is clearly an upgrade from VS. It's a brown super premium spirit, which can be drinking neat, on the rocks, or mixing. So it's really a good offering that we have, and we so far received very positive feedback from the consumer.